Hey everybody, decided to go live a little early today. I'm going to be doing Strong Guy from the X Factor. So, sorry for the lack of a heads up like I normally send out. I just decided to pop on and do this one and knock it out and get the day moving on, because got a family event coming up this afternoon, and I'm gonna knock that out and go hang with the family, and didn't want to leave anybody hanging or whatnot, without the norm. Just still doing this for you guys. So now I gotta go in here and draw in the baseline for this set of goggles here for Strong Guy. Love this character. Can't remember the name of the artist offhand. It was the original X Factor reboot from the original the 5 X-Men that went over to the new team of Havoc. I believe it was Havoc, Wolfsbane, Polaris, Multiple Man, and Strongman here. But I can't, like I said, I can't remember the artist offhand. But I know it was Chris Claremont that wrote those, and or at least co-wrote them and created this guy right here. So, if you haven't ever checked those out, check out the original X Factor books. They're some of my absolute favorite comics. They were cutting edge with the modern Marvel style of the time. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like the 1990s comics because of the fact that they killed the market, which is true to some extent. The market craze of collectability went crazy for a while, and it jacked up everything and shot it through the roof, where it was priced at millions of dollars at a time, and now it's, like it bombed down to nothing, and it has to be super rare for it to even be recognized as a super expensive collectible comic. But it is what it is. The market happened, and we've all had to get over it. It is a disposable medium. It always has been. It's a magazine medium, and a lot of people don't get that, and that's why the prices are the way they are. It's disposable for the month, but the stories go on forever, and that's just part of it. I mean, we're doing it in a disposable format, but yet the trade itself is not disposable, because you're supposed to collect these things like you do books, like you do novels or any other kind of reading medium out there, and a lot of people don't get that. But a lot of us don't want big stacks of paper taking up valuable space in our dwellings either. So, I'm a hardcore paperback person. I do love digital comics, and I love them for the portability and the collectability and the ease of use. But as far as that debate goes, I have mixed feelings about both sides of it. I mean, it's not an absolute for me. But this guy, to stay on point with him, he is a mutant, and he was part of the X Factor team. He was their muscle, and I love this guy. He is comic relief like you would not believe. He has a personality feel almost of Plastic Man in his vanity and his sense of humor. I just showed a friend of mine offline that this particular character has a very hardcore, funny sense of humor, and he was combing his hair and reflecting off of Colossus in the scene, You know, it was a panel from a previous comic book just to show how goofy this guy really is and how fun-loving and relaxed he is as a character. So, if you've never seen him before, check him out. He is a trip. Now, he does have a serious side as well. He is a force to be reckoned with. He has taken down the Juggernaut in his comic book history. He has taken down Colossus. He has also taken down the Blob multiple times. So you just got to think about what's going on with that stuff. And what this guy really means to the X universe. Not just Marvel in general as a whole, but specifically the X universe. He is just a phenomenal character and way underrated and way underutilized. So I've seen him a lot in some of the newer stuff, but they've made him so dark it's not the same as it was with those original runs. So if you haven't seen those, like I said, check them out. The original X Factor, the second team. It comes in like, I believe it was, don't hold me to this, but I think it's like issue 70 or 71, right around in there, when they get introduced. And if you haven't seen them before and enjoyed those characters, definitely check them out. I highly recommend it. And you guys know me well enough to know I don't plug anything. Keep this very light here. Now, right behind these goggles, I'm going to put in... He wears red sunglasses and red goggles, which I think that's a light sensitivity thing, but I don't think it's ever really addressed. Just going to keep this very light. Keep him happy and going smooth. But he has these big white eyebrows and this big white tuft of hair right here, which is a trademark for the character. And if you're going, he looks like a bald Frankenstein, yes he does. It's because he's massive. I mean, he lives up to his name. That's part of his mutation, is he has massive muscles. These back here are actually his shoulders and the top of the back muscles and whatnot right there. So that's why we have that going across, because that is preferably not into his forehead, but but yeah, that's his back and shoulders back there. He is insanely massive. And if I remember right from what I read about him, he hasn't gotten control of it yet. And whenever he gets a certain point, he still has growth spurts. I don't know if they've changed that in recent times or not with the Marvel Now reboots of pretty much everything. But back when I was reading him, he had problems with that. With the muscles still growing and giving him grief. So, popping in this big thumbs up here. And checking these knuckles. Decided to swing that back there. Put a little bit of line across it. in the side of that finger and the hand there. So, there we go. Drop in that bottom knuckle for the second finger, middle finger. Drop in the rest of these goggles. Something similar over here. Remember to change these up a little bit and make them the variations on the waves and stuff when you're drawing this stuff. Remember to make the variations different because light hits different on this one versus this one. So, just an FYI thing. This guy's very vain. He's constantly looking at his stuff. He's constantly looking at himself and stuff because that's part of what made it so funny about the Colossus thing was he was always looking at himself in mirrors, and he carries a comb on him, and he's constantly brushing out his hair and cleaning up his face or checking himself. He's very vain. That's part of the charisma of the character is he's very stuck on himself. And the irony is that he's very happy to be a mutant because of the fact that he has the muscular ability, and strength that he has for being so. And that's always what's so fascinating to me is to see how every character plays out the mutation process in their own mind. I mean, it's like, for lack of a better term, it's a birth defect. I mean, in the common person's mind. But where we would see it as a birth defect, they see it as part of normal life, just like anybody else with any kind of adaptation to their system. And that's the best way to say it. It's not really an effect. Anybody could go haywire at any time. Would it be this extreme? I don't know. But I know of rare cases of mutations in people, and, things happen. And a lot of these characters are relatable because of the fact of their differences, just as much as the fact that they're superheroes or, super beings in this case or whatever. The undertones of racial things in the X universe has always been there. And I find it fascinating to see how people cope with it and what they see and what they don't, and what they accept and what they don't. Not to get too deep with that, but it's food for thought if you think about it in the way you deal in society on a daily basis. Putting a little bit of a heavy shadow on here because I want him to have some edge to him and a little bit more of a rounded edge like the Hulk would, because he's massive. The dude is massive. Now, I'm not going to stick the earring on him. I know sometimes in different variations he has an earring and whatnot, and I'm not going to do that, but not that I have anything against it, it's just I'm not going to put that in there. I just didn't at the time, so I'm not going to do it now. Now what I'm going to do here to finish this off is I'm going to make this suit black and yellow because that's what this one is, and it varies depending on who draws it and where he's at and what team he's with or whatnot. Put some markers here so I know where I'm at when I shade this in just a minute. Okay. Now, come in like that. Put that one like that. These massive black shades are easy to go in and just kick out. All they are is diverse masses, and show where the light is or isn't, and it's a done deal. I'm going to switch over to the 9 here and color these in. So, and like I said, if you're doing this professionally, you know, whatnot, don't really fill this in like this. Mark it off with an X and leave it alone for the inker to come in and fix it and do it properly. But since it's a sketch card, I'm going to kick it out real quick here, just to show more of the finished piece. Be jumping this around quite a bit and shaking the table. Try not to shake the camera too much. I think we've got that. Okay. Let me move the camera just a little bit. So I don't shake it as badly. Stop that. Gonna mark out this piece down here by his hand. Very cool. Okay, done deal. This is one of those characters that I really hooked into because of the fact that like I said before, he embraced everything that he did and everything that he's become. And it cracked me up to no end because at that point in my life, it was at the end of my teenage years. And I just really resonated with this guy. And got right in there to the point to where I was just like, you know what, screw it. I am who I am. And I was coming, you know, of age to figure out what I was going to do with my life, and I was addicted to comics and I knew I wanted to be involved in that. And it was a tough time. That was where I was making that transitional time where people, you know, get the family ribbing and all that, and it's like, you know, you need to get a real job and all that mess. And this guy just did what he wanted to do, and he was who he was and embraced it. And granted, that wasn't everything that made that come to fruition. It was, you know, great mentors and teachers and whatnot as well, but still. I mean, I'm not a Greek tragedy or anything like that. So. I think we got it. That's awesome. Oh, I forgot the clip here. This is a big thing. This is how it holds onto his face. We need to get those clips on there. And I believe we have strong guy. There you go. So that's where we're at. Yeah. For everybody that messaged and saw it early, yeah, sorry about that. I jumped on early today because I wanted to get up, get this card done, get everything moving, because like I said, I've got some personal family things I want to do this afternoon, but I want to give you guys the card and make sure we still deliver every day. And yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. When it's colored and finished here shortly, I think it's going to be a great one. I'm going to do this one up tonight. The last one of this set for this current 12, believe it or not, I've wrapped it up with the Juggernaut for tomorrow for you guys. That's going to be a massive one. I think I'm going to do something special with that card. It might even be a triple or quadruple card. So you'll definitely want to check it out tomorrow and see what's going on. And thanks for hanging out with me today, and that's pretty much it for right now. Thanks for popping on early and not being too disgruntled about it if you had to catch up with me. But yeah, Juggernaut's coming tomorrow. Strong guy for today. Thank you guys, as always. Catch you tomorrow.